of ties that are as long as the like.
Well, that's what's great about. And then I like the
It's just
view
like-
down.
He's so calm about it too. He's like, "Chip, chip, chip." Many stories. I mean, part of it is, I guess, he probably won't die. if
He's
he
already
falls.
dead.
He's
I
already
was going to
dead.
say he's already dead. So it's really just.
And I was thinking, does he have the muscles to do that? Or else, no, he doesn't have any muscles. He's just a
No.
living skeleton. How is he moving? He's magic.
His
It's
spirit
soul. It's
is
a soul.
animating. Yes.
I think the camera choices in this game were actually pretty.
I love that mural because it's the three ways of traveling in the land of the dead, the car, and the train, and the boat. There's no air travel in the land of the dead. No land of the dead airlines.
I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. They still think I'm locked up, hopefully.
I think the camera choices in this game were actually pretty fantastic as well. I don't know who's responsible. I think the camera choices in this game were actually pretty fantastic as well. I don't know who's responsible for that. Was it storyboarded or?
Was that you, Pete? Or?
Yeah, probably a little bit. There's a lot of stuff got worked out ahead of time, certainly, and I mean, because we didn't necessarily build full 360 3D worlds. I mean, well, except for like the offices and stuff.
Mark Hamer ran.
Hey, what did they do with Glottis?
Mark Hamer remember animating that Glottis coming out, and he had to put this thing called a lattice on his butt. And he was like, "What are you working on, Mark?" I'm working on the Glottis butt lattice. And he was always like working on the Glottis butt lattice to like morph and squash and stretch his butt as it came out of the the door. And so, 3 cheers to Mark Hamer and his Glottis butt lattice. An amazing work, still remembered to this day.
Can't go through on foot. People have tried, but they never came back. I'm not going upstairs. I want them to think I'm still locked in the shop. I want them to think I'm still locked in the shop. Have you thought about using messages tied to balloons? I can get you plenty of balloons.
Pigeons, Manuel. Bring me their eggs.
Pues, okay.
¡Viva la revolución!
always liked the music up at the up on the ledge.
Me too. It's very Bernard Herrmann.
And it made
Vertigo.
me always made me feel like a little. Maybe it's because I actually have
Vertigo.
a little bit of vertigo or whatever. No, vertigo
But
isn't the
isn't
thing,
that
but, yeah.
that happens a lot in Vertigo, the
fights.
movie Vertigo, like the
Yes.
na, 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 na,
Yeah.
na, na,
Yeah.
na, na.
So there's a scene here. So there's the wine bottle there on the side, or sorry, the bourbon bottle, and there's the taking a slug of his booze, and that was actually like we had lots of math problems early in the game where we were lining up camera angles, like you mentioned, and these camera angles, if we had it off between the real time and the pre-render stuff, things got kind of messy, and so that was one of the first scenes we had where Manny, as one character, goes and interacts with another item in the scene, and it also has to be placed very precisely in the scene because it has to appear to be on the shelf. And it was really difficult to coordinate. You know, he has to walk to exactly the right spot, line up to perform his animation. The cup has its own animation of flying through the air to his mouth. There's all these weird ways we handled it. I think we changed that later to handle it better, so that the cup was actually attached to him. We'd swap it in, but you know, blank out the one that was on the shelf, put in the one that was in his hand. Like a magic trick, but originally that was something we used to test it out and make it work, and it was, I remember spending days on that and just being worried like, oh man, we're never going to get this to align perfectly between 2D and 3D.
What the? It looks like a glowing hunk of coral. He's got a lock on it. I can't believe he does. No messages in Dom's fancy red tube. It's Domino's mouthpiece. Why am I carrying this around? He's got a lock on it. I can't believe he doesn't trust me. He's got a lock on it. I can't believe he doesn't trust me. Domino's. Why am I carrying this around? It's meant for mouths. It's the loose end of the rope made of ties. It's pretty long though. It's meant for mouths. I wonder if that's how Domino met.
I used to work at a doctor's office, and one of the jobs that I was doing, just terrible jobs there, and one of them was the roof was covered in like 6 inches of pigeon guano up there. They had a flat roof, like the roof of this building, and they're like, look, we got to get that stuff off the roof. It's going to break the roof. There's so much pigeon crap on the roof. And I had to go up there with like this flat shovel and cut. It was kind of like cutting brownies out of a pan.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just chopping up the bird poop and just scooping it up and throwing it off the roof. And but in chopping it up, I occasionally find like in sedimentary rock, like an archaeologist or a paleontologist, I would find the bones of the dead pigeon just inside this weird brownie of guano on the roof.
Wow.
So I had my fair share of bad jobs.
So this was really a kind of therapy to get that.
Yeah, but I'm really just not enough
experience.
poop on the roof to make this really.
Well, it's hard to indicate that with the technology of the time. Kind of just like if you did wind in a 8-bit game, it just sounded like and just sounded bad, you know.
At least I got to clear the pigeons from the roof of my memories.
Yeah, beat it, you lousy little ledge pickers! You must come.
I used to work at a doctor's office.
Out of here with these eggs before those vent vultures come back. Man, are those pigeons gonna be ticked. Check these babies out.
Excellent, Manuel. With these, I can breed an entire army of winged messengers. Our revolution can spread now across the land, carried on the shimmering wings of justice, thanks to you, Agent Calavera.
I myself would also like to spread across the land.
But you can't. We need your dental work here to access the computer. I am sorry, but freedom has its price.
Agent. It's meant for mouths.
I'm not sure what to make of that. Why don't you show it to my intelligence officer?
What's that?
Domino's mouthpiece. Think you can get a dental impression off of it?
No, the plastic's so hard he didn't leave a mark.
It's meant for mouths.
You hear reverb on the steps, and you hear the reverb on his voice, and that was real time. It's his real-time reverb in a time when we never did that. We always pre-baked the files with reverb, and Jeff really had to fight for, I think it was like 5% of the CPU. But now anything that happens in this garage goes through that reverb. And like to modern game folks, audio people, it's just totally basic, no big deal. But back then it was such a big deal. And he really had to jump through hoops.
Ooh, ick. It came out like soft serve ice cream, but judging by the smell, I think it's auto body filler. Fill-A-Dent. Good for dents, great for dentures. I don't want to mess up my blade. Hey. Wow, that can leave quite a chalky aftertaste, too.
I'm not sure what to make of that. Why don't you show it to my intelligence officer?
Manny, this looks like a perfect impression of your teeth. We can use this as a mold to make a fake set of teeth and get into the computer system that way.
Good work, soldier. You are a friend of the revolution, Agent Calavera. And now, let me be of service to you.
You must go to the town of Rubalcaba, my friend. If you want to find your lost soul. How do you know where she is?
I don't. But everyone who wants to get to the ninth underworld must cross the Sea of Lament, and therefore must go to Rubalcaba to get passage on a ship. As long as you get there before she does, you'll find her. But it may be quite a wait.
I'll wait as long as it takes.
Manuel, are you in love with her?
Love? Love is for the living, Sal. I'm only after her for one reason. She's my ticket out of here. That was some tunnel. I'm all the way to the edge of the petrified forest. Claude, why are you mad? Oh, babe! Me too.
You know, I was. It's like I'm
Claudius. Oh. It's too well anchored. Oh no. Ooh, ick. Shoot! It's stuck in there good. Piece of cake. Hi, Chihuahua. Don't think that's gonna work. Soup's on.
Huh.
It's stuck in there good. more spiders. No more demon heart to eat.
This is me playing with my own worst fears. I was realizing while we're making this game, I just randomly was thinking about how nice it is that spiders can't fly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with spiders are kind of icky, but they're on the wall. You can stay away from them. Don't go in the garage. Don't get firewood ever. You can stay away from spiders, but what if they could fly? What if you had to, instead of like a bee buzzing around you or something, you had to worry about like there's a black widow. Like, wouldn't that be creepy? So we made flying spiders in the game. This is me playing with my own.
Can't reach. It's too well anchored. It's still beating.
Be good. Don't tear out. Heart is good. Strong. Beating. Hey, it's not my...
Mr. Lamont, I assure you the missing woman will be found. I will personally track her down myself.
Just like you personally picked her up from the land of the living.
That was my intention, but Agent Calavera somehow got to her first.
We gave you the fastest car, Domino. We gave you all the best clients. You had all the advantages. So how was this Calavera able to sneak in there and eat your lunch?
Oh, now, Hector, you can't get too mad at Domino. That wasn't his fault.
Oh, I can, Don. You should know I can get too mad. But not at Domino. After all, he wasn't in charge of this operation. At least, not until now.
Hector, no!
Marigolds. Funny. For some reason, I was expecting tulips. Well, maybe Mr. Calavera, eh, Domino? Why don't you personally go down to the basement and escort him up here? The sooner he's sprouted and we can get back to business, the better.
Want to go for a ride?
I thought you'd never ask.
Sorry.
But I think I'd rather go find out in the safety of the bone wagon. I left my tow truck back.
This is the area that Tim and I would make a lot of jokes about because, you know, producer type person, I need to shorten the game, cut it somehow. So this area, I would, you know, say, hey, we need to cut the beavers. Does that make sense?
He's like, no way, not cutting it.
Oh, well, the whole time we'd fight about it, and it was that one kind of thing where, that was the story I told a little earlier about the ship, you know, and he said, Leslie, a game is like a ship, and the ship is going, and it's going to keep going until it stops. And I was like, what kind of logic is that? It has to finish at some point. So I was like, look, the beaver's got to go, and they'd always be on the list. And he actually drew me a little pictures on a napkin of like the armadillo, the beavers on fire. And he's like, why did you cut me, Leslie? Please don't cut me, Leslie. And he would just poke me.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, this is the air.
I left my tow truck back. Híjole, mano. What sort of unholy Christmas tree farm is this, Gladys? Gladys?
Manny, check out this wheelbarrow, will ya? With a couple of ATV nubby tires on the back and a 2-stroke lawnmower engine, we could make one sweet go-kart.
I remember in this room, as in several others, Julian, we used a sound ambience that we recorded using a contact microphone on various machines, like Coke machines, other vibrating devices or machine-like devices that produces a kind of interesting hum. And if you put your ear up against a Coke machine, or I was just on the Golden Gate Bridge last week, and I stuck my ear up against one of those, 300, 200-foot pylons, and it's amazing the resonances that are going on in those type of resonant bodies. And we would record things like that and turn them into ambiances for some of the rooms.
That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little. Oh, you work for... The power of these...
Is that why the town's called...
Huh? Maybe so.
This place gives me the creeps.
I'm ready to go. while you have that off, let me try moving those weights around some more. Okay, just give me a second to balance these doggies. That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
No trailer hitch on the bone wagon.
Hey, while you have that off, let me try moving those weights around some more. Okay, just give me a second to balance these doggies. That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little. Hey, while you have that off, let me try moving those weights around some more. Okay, just give me a second. That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
This place gives me the creep.
I'm ready. Hey. Okay. That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
This place gives me the... I don't want to drive this thing all over the forest.
You will once I get that two-stroke in there. Hey, while you have that off, let me... Okay! That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I move the...
Drive this thing all over the forest.
You will once I get that two-stroke in there. Hey, while you have that off, let me Okay! That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I move...
I don't want to drive this thing all over the forest.
You will once I get that two-stroke in there. Hey! Okay! That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I move them around a little... Okay! That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
This place gives me the creep.
I'm ready.
This place gives me the...
Hey, while you have that off... Okay! That should do.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I...
This place gives me...
Some of the things that we came up with for this game, like the Petrified Forest. Well, Petrified Forest is right out of a Bogart movie,
Right.
Right. And that's coming from the name of a Bogart movie.
And he's actually a gangster.
He's a bad guy in it, yeah. But having these little things pumping it, I don't know where this came up with. Like, I feel like in games now we try to make things make sense. Like, oh, you go to a gas station, something you know that exists. But here, it's a weird hydraulic pump factory with a counterweight on top of it for sucking something out of the marrow out of these trees.
Oh, right.
But it was all worth it because it was satisfying to see Glottis spin around on the top of it.
I liked the environmental message myself.
Okay! That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I moved them around a little.
Can't we? I don't want to drive this thing all over the forest.
You will once I get that two-stroke in there.
I don't want to drive this thing all over the forest.
You will once I get that two-stroke in there. while you have that... Okay, just get... That should do it.
Still not enough.
And maybe if I move them...